Okay, so just a quick summary so that we can seamlessly move on further. So we were discussing the data source tab in Tableau public. We have imported the superstore data which lives in your my document folder. Whenever you download Tableau, a folder is created in your my document folder. Over there is a data source repository. You have to just browse through that folder and there would be a superstore data. There are two superstore data. One is Europe superstore, one is US superstore. Europe will have EU written somewhere in the file name. So, and the US one will not have EU written. So that's a differentiator, and there would be few Excel sheets. So we'll be using order sheets in that file to do our exercise. And once you import it, it looks like this. So this is, and for further details, you can refer the video recording which is under your profile page. Now, we also discussed dimension and measures. So we discussed that whenever you import the data, the headers, the columns get populated in each sheet. As many sheet you create here. So as many, good morning Gautam ji. So as many sheets you create here, you will have these header bifurcation over here. The one above this small gray line, this mild gray line, the one above it are known as dimensions, one below are measures. Dimensions, for quick review, I would say, just to tell you quickly, dimensions are something like strings, dates, names, location, and measures are values, numeric values. But like I said yesterday, it could interchange also. You can change them using this drop down menu. Under each measure, you can convert them to measure. You can also change the data type, and there are multiple options. We will cover them as we proceed in this session. We also discussed continuous and discrete. And the ones that are in blue color like this are discrete values. Discrete values are like name, days in a month, days in a month in an year, like January, February, March, or names, ID, all these are discrete. And continuous, like height or length, these are continuous values, right? So green ones, the green pill is for continuous and the blue one is for discrete. You can further change from continuous to discrete and it will move up, and vice versa, and the color will also change. So these are some inputs. Now before, this was just a quick recap. Before we move further, or actually what I want to discuss today is one of the most important concept which generally is skipped, but I think it's very important, so I'll just explain it to you. And the concept is about, just looking for space to write here. So, and the concept is, one is known as the granularity and other one is aggregation. These are two concepts I want to explore along with you. So first of all, what do you mean by granularity and aggregation? Just in plain English, what do you mean? Can anybody just answer on that? What do you mean by granularity? Anybody? English में whatever you mean in English, it's fine. No technical jargon is required. बताओ, जल्दी बताओ. Tell me quickly.
Small clusters.
Okay. So granularity is you saying small cluster. Anybody else? Anybody else? Jaldi batao bhai.
So being like extremely small in size, like with details.
Small size, okay. Details. Or anybody else? Okay, so okay, fine. Now let's I'll just show you some I have one data, give me a second, I'll just show it to you. Just give me a second, my system is a bit slow. I have to just switch off some of the application that are running. But in the meanwhile, anybody else on granularity while I'm doing it? Anybody else?
Something that has minute details attached to it.
Yes, that is right on the target. So something which has details. Now, let's say I'm trying to open that file. If I let me see if I can open it. Yeah. So okay. So that was eating my RAM. Okay. Now let's talk about this one. Let's have a look at this data. This is a very interesting data set. This talks about various states, districts, and regions in India and the corresponding demographic details. Like I think we discussed this in the previous Excel class, but for people who are joining in for only Tableau class, just have a look at this one, right? So these are the different districts in states and in regions. So in West, Maharashtra, Thane, and there is this population. Now, what is the lowest level of detail in this data? What is the granularity of this data? So when you say granularity of data, specifically in terms of Excel tabular data, I would say, what does each row mean? What does data in each row mean? So each row here, is it the data about a state, a region, or a district? What is it? Though it is obviously it's data about a specific district of this state, of this region, but this population, this information is about what? If you are carrying out an information on this column contains granularity at what level? It contains granularity or detail at district level. So this column has the granularity at district level. Now, if I if you remember your pivot, how to insert a pivot over here. So if I select this data over here, right, and I insert this pivot, so you see, and this is the same concept that is used in Tableau also. Okay, so you see this population. This is the entire population. What is this population? Anybody? What is this population?
All districts.
Yeah, this is sum of this column, which means all districts. Now let's assume these are the exhaustive list of all the districts in India, right? So which means this is a national level population. Assuming that this is exhaustive district list, all districts are included. Now, if I bring regions here, you see this? Now what is this? This is regional breakup. So now the granularity in this information is at regional level. So you see, previously it was at national level, there is no granularity. Everything is a single whole. It's a national level detail. Now if I bring in region, it splits at regional level. Now if I bring in state here, it splits at state level. If I bring in district here, it splits at district level. So what is happening here? We are splitting it at different levels of aggregation. Do you understand that? So we are aggregating the granularities. That's what I'll say. We are trying to aggregate the different granularities in the data. So the level of detail in here, as we call it in Tableau, level of detailing here is at regional level. I break it further down. The level of detailing here is now at state level, and if I further break it down, this is at a district level. So granularity at what level of detail? Aggregation, if you group them together on a specific level of detailing, level of detail, which is also something like the granularity. Okay, so though don't confuse it with the granularity. Level of detail has a different connotation in Tableau, but more or less it means the same. So as we go into that topic, you will come to know about it. Okay, so everybody understood what is granularity and what is what do you say, what is aggregation of the information? Do you get that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let's go back to our Tableau, and I'll just show you the same information in here. Now you are using a Superstore data. I assume you have imported this file from Tableau Public, or you have to import the Superstore data in your Tableau. So people who just joined in, I hope you know how to import Superstore data, right? So now, has everybody imported Superstore?
Can you repeat once how to
Okay. So the superstore data has been shared over email, though it would also be by default installed on your My Documents folder. But nevertheless, if you don't have it, I have emailed all of you. If people who just joined enrolled today, they might not have access to it, but otherwise it is already there on your email, and also would be on your My Document folder. So now if I, one second, this is, I'm trying to show it for the guys who just joined in, who did not join yesterday's class. So your what do you say, Tableau public would look something like this. Even if you're using Tableau desktop, it would look more or less like this only. Okay, now just a second. Yeah, so if I actually this is slowing it down. Yeah. So if I am in my Tableau public, so I can connect to our data using this Microsoft Excel. These are the options available. I've discussed them. You can see the refer the video. And if you go to Microsoft Excel, because that's how my data is stored on my system, I click on Microsoft Excel, and then I browse to the location that I want to go to. So by default, under My Documents, you will have this My Tableau repository. You go there, and there you will have data sources. You click. Once you go to data sources, go to the latest version. 2020.3 is what I have on a machine, and then there are two superstore data. Click on sample superstore. These gets installed by default on your machine. In some cases they might not get installed by default. Then you can use or refer the file that I've shared, or you can even Google for a superstore data. You will easily find it online. Don't worry, it's a free data available. Okay, so once you install it, once you import it, the file will get imported like this, and the sheets would be available here. You double click on orders sheet, and it will come over here like this, and then data would be visible over here, right? So that's how you import it, and then you can go to your sheet 1, and you're all set. And this is where we are right now. So I'm going back to my sheet, and this is what you will get. Okay, now, so number 1, granularity. So we have this data. So if you want to have a quick view at the data, you can click on the search bar. There is this filter, and then there is this small view data option. You click here, and you can have a quick view of the data in case you want to have a look at the data quickly. So over here we have categories. It's about a superstore, which is a retail store which supplies different kind of category, which are like furnitures, office supplies. There are some other things, technical stuff, mostly for office use. Then it talks about different cities in the US, their customer IDs, customer names. There is some order date, order ID, postal codes, right? Product name. And then there are subcategories like tables, chairs under furniture, binders, copiers under office supply. Then there is discount, profit, quantity, and sales. Okay. So which means it's a retail store, retail chain data, and it captures sales, quantity, profit across various categories, subcategories, geographical location, and stuff. Now, so if you remember, when I was using this in Excel over here, and when I was dragging some information here, like I drag districts, if I bring it back, so you see regions are like this. So when I bring any information in here in this rows, like if I again bring back state, it splits across state. So I am bringing this into the view, VIEW, bringing to the view, right, or to the instance. So when I am not bringing it here, it is only breaking the information across. So this information is being broken across regions. So how do I break this information, bring the level of detail, or bring granularity in the information? By bringing that information, which will slice the information across different regions into our view. So I can bring regions to the rows, I can bring regions to the columns. Okay, it will not work because there is some like this. So I can bring it to the columns also like this, okay, or I can even bring it to filters. So because from here I can say, okay, what is the population of central, so I can get this information. So if I bring this thing to either of these quadrants, these three quadrants, it will break it. But if I don't bring it here, I keep it here, it will not break this aggregation, which is by default a sum. It has by default summed up the information. I can also, like you know in Excel, use the value field setting and change it to count and average. So for example, average population is this much, right, in a district. So so how you want to aggregate, that is one. By default it is using sum, and also if you want to break that aggregation at different levels, you have to bring those columns into this view. Now switch back to Tableau and let me bring in sales. Now like I said, if I bring sales anywhere into the view, bringing to the view means I can bring this to the right side. So anything that comes from here and crosses this vertical separation, right, this one, like I said yesterday, it's like a Lakshman Rekha. So if you use this figure and bring it here to the right, anywhere, bring it anywhere here, 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 or here, or here. You can drag it anywhere. I'm not releasing it right now. So if you bring it anywhere in this right side, it will be part of the current view of Tableau, current instance of Tableau. So best way just to test your information, if you are not very sure where to drag it, just drag it to details. Whenever you are unsure, bring it to details. Okay. Now the moment you bring it to details, what do you see? Automatically it uses sum. You see this sum? Now let me take another example. If I drag, let's say, order ID to details, nothing is happening, right? I don't see anything here. Let me try to bring in shipping date. Again, it is not doing sum, right? And there's a reason why I'm showing you this last one. If I bring product ID, it is not showing a sum. So why do you think when I bring sales to details, it is showing sum, but if I'm bringing something else like a category here, it is not showing sum? Anybody?
It doesn't measures, sales is measures and others are dimensions.
Okay. So so let's bring this category, you're saying is dimension. So I'll use the drop down menu and convert it to measure, right? Now it is a measure here, right? Now once it becomes a measure, you see it automatically adds a count here. And now if I bring it to details, so now it says CNTD, which means count distinct, right? Automatically it makes it count. Now if you see your Excel, if I don't use population here, and if I, instead of values, I add state, let's say here, right? So you see by default it says count 640, because if I bring anything else like state 640, because now it's counting the rows here. It is not, district cannot be aggregated, right? So it is adding it 1 2 3 4 5 6 like this, counting it, sorry. So 640 districts. So it is giving me a count and not the sum, because you cannot sum a discrete value or something which is a text. Same logic, as long as it was here in the dimensions, it was a blue pill, which means discrete value, and discrete value cannot be summed up. That's why it is not adding it up. The moment I convert it into a measure, it comes here like this, and it automatically becomes a count, and count can now be dragged and it says count D, right? So that is the difference. You will realize this what I'm doing more once you practice it a bit more. Bringing it back to the original shape, I'm bringing the things as were in the beginning. Now let's bring sales to detail again, and we get a sum. Okay, now I don't see anything here. I see this ABC, right? This ABC is actually a graph. This is actually a visualization, because I have chosen an automatic visualization over here, which is by default text for this case. So it deciphers. Tableau in itself kind of guesses what it can do with this, and it plots like this. But I don't want it. I want something like let's just plot something else. So let me plot a bar, right? So it gives me a bar like this. Now doesn't make much sense. Let me bring a circle. Circle is like this. So if you hover over it, you see these numbers, right? So I mean, you'll get different numbers like this. Now let's do one thing. If I bring let's say, let me do the same example we did yesterday, categories. So if I bring categories to details, so what happens? It splits into 3 parts. Now that original number, which was this one, so I can make you see this number if I do some adjustments here, right? Like this, and this is the label. So I can just, don't worry, I'm doing what I'm doing right now. Idea is to just make you understand few interesting points. So this is the value of sales for the entire data, because I have not brought any element of detailing. Now next I bring in category to detailing. Now category can be brought in detailing by bringing it to the right side. Either drag it anywhere here, or I drag it here also over here. So I'll bring it to colors, right? Now I see 3 colors, right? 3 colors, red, blue and yellow, and all 3 are split of the original data across furniture, office supply and technology, right? I can increase the size of these bubbles from here like this, okay? And I can also, anyways, so these are three splits, okay? It cannot show the text over here, so it's not it's overlapping, so it's not showing. So we'll cover these small details sometime later, but to just add some flavor to it, let me actually bring this to like this, columns and entire view. Sorry, and size is too much for it to adjust, so yeah, like this. Now what has happened here is this data, this original information which was there, if I just drag it back, like this information, this sales, now I can better show you if I split across like this, okay? Now furniture is this much, office is this much, the same value got split. I can further split it into subcategories if I bring subcategory here. So now under furniture, the subcategories are like this, right? So it's further splitting it. So the idea here is to show you that if there is an aggregation, it gets split by the level of detailing that you provide in this data. Let me take another example. Let me plot sales in one axis and let's say quantity in another axis. Okay, now what do you see? A single bubble which says quantity and sales value. You can see in the tooltip, right? And let me make it a circle. We can make it a circle. I can increase the size also like this. Okay. Now, why do we see a single circle? Anybody? Any wild guess? Why do we see a single circle? What do you think? Batao bhai, quickly. I need an answer.
So because category में आप divide नहीं किए हो, वो तो
Right.
बता रहा है.
Because we have not divided this information under any category, under any level of detail, under any level of granularity, right? So let's split it across, let's say across states. Okay, so there are different states. This is the US data. So across states of US, I'm bringing the state into any of this area. I can drag it anywhere, but it will have different implications. So I want to split this single dot across states. I want to see what is the split across sales and quantity, and by I'm putting it under, let's say, color, and it's, I say, all members. So you see that single dot got split across these different states. Now splitting it across colors is a bit confusing because you cannot keep a track of all the colors, so I'll better put it under details, because if you don't want to put it under any color, size or anything else, but still want to break the granularity, break the aggregation, then you use the details. Details is like bringing in the view but doing nothing. No color, no size, no labels. Now you see this is a breakup of quantity and sales. it's just like a regression analysis you do in your statistics across quantity and sales, and you're splitting across different states. And this becomes really interesting if you try to use some other visualizations also. So let's do one more thing. I also want to see how each bubble looks in sales terms. So if I bring sales to size, okay, now what do you see? Obviously this sales is increasing like this, so obviously as you go from bottom to top the size would increase, but I just wanted to tell you or show you that the size of the bubble now here represents the sales. Bigger the bubble, more the size. You can adjust the size here like this, and okay, you can even bring sales to color. Now the darker the color, higher the sale, lighter the color, lesser the sale, right? So both color, size and also label can be used. If you want to bring labels, let's say I want to bring label for state name, so I can drag the state name from here into labels, and it will give me the labels over here. I can even drag it to the sales figure, where is that, this one, to my label, and I get this labeled like this. Okay, so I'm just trying to give you a feel of how things work here, and also about some basic concepts. So this was about granularity and aggregation. Now if you go on the top here, you see file, data, worksheet, dashboard, story and analysis. If you go to analysis, you will see aggregate measures is checked. So this is a default behavior. By what you say, default, your Tableau will aggregate values, right? So if I get rid of all this, so I get a single bubble. By default it is adding everything. If I uncheck it, then that tendency to aggregate by default is gone, and now it does not aggregate the values. So each point in that Excel table, each row is populated here without any aggregation. So you can change the tendency, but I recommend never to change it unless you are looking for something really complex which needs some customization. So keep this checked, but I just wanted to show you. If somebody asks you analysis and aggregate measure, by default the behavior is to aggregate for Tableau. Okay, and at different levels this concept of granularity behaves in a different way. I will just take one last example to show you how it behaves. Now let's say again sales figure I'm bringing into details, and this time I'm using, let's say, a map. Okay, and right now I don't see anything, but the moment I just see a single bubble here, right? Again the default behavior to aggregate everything. If I bring my what you say state to details here, so I get a map here. Now it is not plotting properly because there are some adjustment that have to be done. Don't worry, don't bother about it. We'll cover it in our class where we will do maps. But for time being, I'm just using okay. So don't worry what I'm doing. There was some previously what to say. I had some system configuration that were impacting that. Okay, so now if I'll redo it. So if I get rid of everything from here, I bring sales to my view or to detail, so I get this again, same thing, and some number. Automatically it is plotting a text here. If I bring state to detail again, so I'm bringing it at this, I'm breaking it the sales information at state level. So now this data gets split across different states in the US. Okay, I can further bring in city to details, and now I am splitting this information across cities in the US. Okay, now I can even put sales to size so that I have bigger bubbles for more sales, and I can increase the size a bit like this, and I can bring in, let's say, category colors. Now I'm just play with the colors a bit here. So I'll first I increase the size a bit, and then a color, because you see there are some overlapping bubbles, so I'll make them little bit transparent, and that's where the concept of transparency comes in. And I'll give some border also to it. Okay, this. So now you can infer a lot of things from this, right? For example, you can see that there are big bubbles here, which means the eastern coast over here and the western coast over here, western region over here, they have very high sales. Also, given the color, so furnitures have very high sale here. You can further bring this category to this filter to do more exotic things, but right now I'm not going there because we have to gradually go to each step. But the idea is, by bringing in a different level of granularity, a different level, you can do some really amazing stuff, right? So this is the point I wanted to put across. Any doubts? Okay, so we covered the concept of granularity and aggregation over here, right? Now what I want you to do is, I want you to bring the exercise that I did with you. I want you to bring sales to the view by putting them in detail, and then I want you to break it across different categories and subcategories and see it for yourself. Can you just do this exercise in 5 minutes, everybody, please?
So please repeat.
So bring in sales into this view, right, and break it across categories and subcategories. Just try to do it. So this will kind of give you a feel of how to work in Tableau, and also some information about how granularity works or level of detailing works in Tableau. I'll ask somebody to present, okay? So please do it. Good morning, Satyam. I just saw your message. Sorry about that. Okay, so who's going to volunteer? Anybody is able to do it? There is no right or wrong answer, right? So just show me what you have done. Any volunteers?
Sir, I can volunteer, but I'm not able to see the subcategory on my list.
Okay, don't worry. Okay, share your screen, Satyam.
Yes, sir. So,
Okay.
sir, I have put the sales into this rows.
Okay, so
Just like you said, it's a continuous data.
yes.
So,
Okay, great.
but this subcategory is supposed to be here, right, sir, somewhere.
Okay, now what is happening here is, because of the version that you're using, the view is slightly different. So generally you have a dimension and measure on the left, right? But right now it is breaking under some folder structure kind of thing, right? So
Order people and returns, yes.
yeah, so you can because those are the 3 sheets in there, so should not,
Data source.
yeah, so just get rid of people and returns from there. Just click on, yeah, and remove. This thing we'll learn later, so just to avoid confusion, so that everybody sees the same thing. Now, okay, now,
One new sheet.
no, it's fine. We'll use this one only. So now you have dragged sales to the rows shelf. Like I said yesterday, the places where you can drag these items from the left to the right are known as shelf. So you have put sales under rows shelf. Now you can also put sales to detail also, but
Details as
yeah,
well.
but don't
Just
worry,
only
keep it there only. You can keep, yeah, you can do,
only text my
yeah.
text.
Now, so I wanted to break it under category and subcategory. So keep it there. Yeah, that's fine. Now drag category. So if you're not able to locate it, just type on the search bar on the top, just type category. You see this one? Yeah, you can drag it anywhere. Just experiment. Drag it anywhere where you like. Okay, and also yeah, fine. Subcategory. Yeah. You see this? Now, so this is how you get the chart of your information. Okay. Perfect. So now you know how it works, right? That is great. I hope everybody is able to do it.
Yes, sir.
Colonel Vikram is fine. You can use that, and no worries. I mean, let us know if you need any help. Okay, if you need any support or anything. Okay.
No issues, brother.
Oh, thanks.
I'm just working it out. Unfortunately, downloaded the entire damn thing, but it is not, it's not proceeding yet. Saying upgrade.
That's fine, Colonel Vikram. So let me know if you need any help. I'll be happy to help you out. Okay.
Sir,
Yes, please.
sir, for different categories, how the color is changing?
Sorry, I don't understand what you mean. But Vikram, can you just take out category from there? So what? Who was that? No. Who was asking the question? Anchal.
Anchal, sir.
Anchal, did you miss yesterday's session, or were you there?
No, sir, I was there.
Okay.
but-
So if you want to color based on category, you drag the category to colors. That's it. Like this. Okay. Understood? Anchal, understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Great. So you see here, he just dragged subcategory to color, so subcategory coloring was done, right? So depending on what you drag on colors, it will color. But mind you, you cannot drag two headers to color because it will only take one color, right? So it can take color based on category or subcategory. If you try to drag something else, it will overwrite it. So if now he drags category to colors, just drag it category to colors, subcategory gets overwritten by category, right? So just keep on doing it, you will realize what's happening there. Okay. So I hope everybody is able to do it, and it's pretty intuitive, pretty straightforward. Okay.
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah, please
When they
shoot.
display all these things on dashboard, they remove all these grids here, all the lines we are seeing.
Sorry.
Just like in the dashboard in Excel, we remove all the grid lines, right?
Okay.
When you're preparing a
So
dashboard.
again,
So
grid lines like in Excel and here. So if somebody says, I mean, it's not a thumb rule that you have to remove grid lines, right? It's just that I think it looks better when you remove grid lines, but it will depend a lot on your design philosophy also, how you want to design it, right? Because some design might look good with grid lines, maybe because of some technical inputs those grid lines carry. But yes, if you want, you can get rid of this. We will cover how to remove the grid lines here in the formatting session once we are there. But as of now, just live with them, bear them for now. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now, I just want to show you 1 second. Few more things. Yeah.
So you're not able to see your screen.
No, I'm not shared yet. Just a second. This is just booting up on my machine. I'm just trying to share my PPT. Okay, yeah. So can you please confirm if you can see the PPT?
Not yet,
Not
sir.
yet.
Okay, it will come up, don't worry. Okay. Not yet? Ah,
No, sir.
sorry. My bad. Yeah, it would be visible now. Okay. Can you see this? Is it visible now, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. It's visible now.
Okay, now whenever you work with Tableau and save the file, it will be saved on your machine in two file formats. One would be .twb, other would be .twbx. Okay. .twbx is a Tableau Extract file. So one is Tableau Extract, right, and the other one is Tableau Packaged Workbook, right? Now what are these? So so you can think of it in this way. when you are, let's say, sending your Tableau file, publishing it somewhere, let's say pushing it to some online platform, like we published to Tableau Public, right? Now, Tableau Public is like a server. It is sitting somewhere like in the US or Singapore, somewhere else. And what I'm showing right now on my machine, like this one, this Tableau screen that I'm showing where we did our chart and all, this is on my machine. This is taking the data from the My Document folder, which is on my machine, on my local machine, right? Once I put it on server, I need to send the data across, because on the server, how would it know where the data is? So I have to send the data across with this logic of how to plot the graph, which is in the back end of Tableau. So when you put the data along with this visualization logic, then it is known as extract. Otherwise, it's a pure package, right? So once you have to publish it online, you need to create an extract. An extract is like the entire data which is here, which is linked to my Excel file, is also kind of zipped or compressed and put across along with this visualization, and it becomes a Tableau extract file. So it is like a mix of data as well as the visualization concept or the visualization logic, which is in this logical layer, right? In your data source, the data source tab over here, because I'm using right now Tableau Public, if you're using a Tableau desktop version, which we will do, which we'll use in the second half, because we will use a trial version for others to follow. So you will see over here there would be an extract or a live option. I think if anybody is using a full-blown license version, he or she can see the extract and live option over here, which means you are creating a live connection with the data on your machine, and extract would mean you are bundling the data along with this Tableau file. So that is what a TWBX file and a TWB file means. We will again cover this concept as and when required, don't worry. But just note that there is one plain Tableau file and one is Tableau extract. Extract is like data is extracted and put across in some other format. Second is, I, like they say, once bitten, twice shy. So I tell this concept at the very beginning, though it comes under cartography or mapping, but I just tell this in the very beginning. And I'll tell you a small story. So I was working for a government project through one of the NGOs in India, and we were doing some epidemiological profiling, some demographic profiling across some epidemic in India, and we were plotting a graph like this, and we were supposed to present it in front of the bureaucracy some few years ago, and there was a map that was supposed to be shown, and we did not realize that we have not checked this concept. I'll tell you what this concept is. This is basically setting your geographical location from where you are looking at this, or from where you're operating on this software. And this setting, for some reason, which I know but I will not tell it on this public domain, over here.
So is it related to the Kashmir map?
Yes. Not only this, but other geographical areas, because what happens is,
Pretty controversial.
yes. So what happens is there are 2-3 things. Number one, the administrative boundaries of any geography, be it India, be it US, be it anywhere else, they keep on changing based on multiple geopolitical scenarios and other administrative aspects. For instance, a state might have n number of districts, and those districts might merge together, new districts might be formed, new states might be formed, or new administrative boundaries might be formed. Point number one. Now, since that is a function of different civil and public servants and other agencies or bodies, so any software will take time to suck in that information. So hence, if I say India has these many states and suddenly some new state is formed, for example Telangana, so it might take some time to reflect here, right? Point number two, some geographical boundaries like India, for us this is the map of India, right? I hope everybody agrees with that. But for some, they have some other concept about it, and hence for those geographical location, the map looks slightly different, which I don't agree with. I hope you also don't agree to it, but let's not bring that political issue here. So what happens is, if you don't set your workbook locale over here, like this one, okay, so it will render these small issues in a small aspects in a different way. So always go to workbook locale and set it to English India. And yes, now you are walking diplomatically, politically, and in all aspect a correct line. Okay, so always do that. Once bitten, twice shy. We did it, and it did not render the correct map. Though we immediately corrected it, but it was not a good thing to do in a forum like that. So hence, I always say, go to your file, go to your workbook locale, and set it to India, so that all the things are in line, both in terms of the geographical rendition and other aspects, with the Indian diaspora, with the Indian administration and stuff. Is that clear? Anybody has any doubt over there? What it's doing, or shall I repeat? Okay.
Is the configuration different for Tableau desktop server?
No.
To access that locale.
No, it is same. You go to file, and there would be a workbook locale over here. Even in desktop, in Tableau public, desktop definitely it would be here. Only thing is, there would be more menu items over here in Tableau desktop. Just look at workbook locale over here. Okay.
Yes, I got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. And set it to English India. As long as you're in India. Okay. 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 Next.
A small query, Manu, on this aspect.
Yeah. Yes, Vikramji.
When we select, English India,
Mm-hmm.
does that only relate to the maps and other geographical things which is related to India, or it takes in something like a default with the perspective what we have of the entire world scenario?
Yes. Definitely. I'll answer to that.
Because sometimes what would happen is, in case we are working on a say a data, like the data presently working on is say US, and will that affect any geographical boundaries, or the domain of the other countries or something like that, or it is only primarily tweaked to keep our perspective of our boundaries clear?
Okay. Very good question. So it has to do definitely with the geographical boundaries, but it has also to do with other small nuances, geographical nuances or locational nuances. So for example, if you put a comma, right? So like right now, in this case, you see this comma is coming after 3 places, 3, which is, it is dealing in billions and millions, right? If you use some other local setting, it might deal in, let's say, crores and lakhs, right? Though I'm not very sure, I've not checked it, but these are the kind of things that it will take care of. Also, let's say currency. So if you use India, it will give you an option to write the currency the way we write the rupiah symbol. Otherwise, it might not have, it might only have dollars or euro, like that. So there are some other things that also come in with that. And also there are some technical things in the back end. For example, there would be some UTF encoding, which is like, how do I put it? So for example, if you write a particular symbol, like again, the rupee symbol, it might not be deciphered correctly in some other setting. So all those things. So yeah, in a holistic approach, I can say 80% it is to do with geographical location, but there are small nuances around that. So it does take care of that. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, thanks. Because like what you said, there are a lot of small things, like our measuring system or metric values are different
Right.
than the European or the US.
Right.
Yeah. So they work on miles and
Right.
dollars and pounds.
Right.
They work on kilometers and
Definitely, yeah.
proteins.
The metric
So,
system,
you
yeah.
need to be, like what you said, you need to be a little careful for whom you are making.
Definitely, exactly. And these visualizations are never, I mean, they could be for your self-consumption, but mostly visualization is always for you to show to the world, to somebody else, right? And when you're showing to somebody, you should be very careful about what you're showing. So if you're showing something to a kid, you might want to use some colorful thing. If you're showing something to a professional, you might want to use some professional colors, and also take care of some other aspects, minor aspects of what information. Yeah. So take care. Yeah.
Going back to the first thing which you said, that you be very careful of the authenticity of the data you're working on.
Yeah.
And if it is an open domain, and please mention the references.
Yes. Yes.
So that the clarity is very clear, and people don't feel that it has been infringed upon or inferred upon, that you have gone into the privacy.
Definitely.
So I think that is a very important thing what you highlight.
Yes. And yes, and I know, I mean, coming your professional background and rest of you also, it is not dependent on any professional background, but since I know you know about, you would know about the value of authenticity of data, the credentiality, the confidentiality. But for others, for the other young guns over here, always. So I am a big proponent of what do you say. Authenticity of data. Be ethical. Always be ethical when you're working with data. If you're copying some data from somewhere, always quote the source. If you're using your own data, that is fine. Always quote the source. Know what you're publishing. Just don't go on firing in the air like that. Be sure when you're publishing on a public domain in Tableau Public, though it is a big, what you say, a powerful thing to have an option to publish something online. But like they say, the Spider-Man dialogue, that with great power comes great responsibility. So just don't publish anything like that, right? Somebody might pounce back upon you and maybe question you why you put it there, and there might be some unwanted what do you say, outcomes of that. So though I know a lot of people, 99% of people just publish it just like that without knowing the, but be follow the principle of being authentic, and follow the ethics of data sharing and stuff, right? So I think that would be a good message that everybody should follow. Okay, now coming back, do you guys want to take a quick break?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's go for a quick 10 minutes break, and we meet at 12:10 sharp. Okay. Okay, guys. So, shall we start? Although we have another couple of minutes left, but if you have any questions, I can just take it up. Otherwise, I'll proceed. Okay. So, Gautamji, what is this? I see your message.
Yes, sir. I was trying some experiments.
Okay.
On that super, but I'm not able to publish that.
Okay, not able to publish. I'll tell you why you're not able. Would you like to share your screen? Are you in a position to share your screen?
Yeah, definitely, sir.
So, do you have a Tableau public account created?
Yes, sir. I have a Tableau public account.
Okay.
created,
Okay.
And
And once you are publishing it, before that, have you logged in through your Tableau desktop or Tableau public desktop application? Because you have to be logged in. I think that is the issue.
okay. I think I'm not logging through that. I'm only using the desktop that I've downloaded.
So I think you can, if you want, you can share your screen. I can help you out if you want.
Yes, sir. Just a minute, sir. I'm having some problem.
No problem, no problem. So I'll
Sharing.
let me share my screen instead, so
Yes,
that you can just correlate it. Okay. So if you see my Tableau screen over here, you see my name is coming over here. Whenever I am in a sheet, you see at the bottom my name is here. You see this one? Now,
Yes, sir.
if I use this drop down and sign out, then I'll be sign out from my Tableau public profile. So right now I'm connected to Tableau public online profile. Now it is gone. So how do I connect back to it? So I go to file and I say actually you will have a publish option if you are using a full blown version, but don't worry, I'll just see if there is. One second. In here it's not there. Okay, so you go to file and then over here save to Tableau public as. Don't click on the first one, second one. It would be better to use this one. And when I click it, and if I'm not connected, it will just give me this option to connect. So do you get this screen? So if you get this screen, you have to fill in your credentials for Tableau public, which is your online profile. Oops. And then I can sign in. Now if my credentials are correct, it will sign in, and in some time my name will pop up over here, right? So once it's connected, then I am good to go. So it will say how do you want to save it. So I want to use the same name, and I say save, and then because I've already saved a file yesterday on that online profile, so I'll say overwrite it. So I say yes. Otherwise you have to give a different name, and then it will start pushing it across and it will publish it there. So I think that's the issue, Gautamji.
Sir, would you please, if you don't mind, could you please repeat it again, because I was having some problem with my.
Okay. No worries. I'll repeat it. No worries.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I was saying, if you have to publish anything from this sheet to your Tableau public server, the online thing, then you have to be logged in, and you're logged in to Tableau public account through this Tableau public desktop application. How do you see if you're logged in? In your sheet, if you look at here at the bottom over here, your name would be here, your account name, the Tableau public online account name. And if you're logged in, your name appears like this. I am intentionally logging out just to demo how it has to be done. So I've logged out now, and this name will go off. Now, how do I log into Tableau public? In Tableau desktop full version, there will be an option to publish here. You can use that. Otherwise, a very simple approach is go to files, and click on Save to Tableau Public As. Once you click it, and if you're not signed in, I'm not signed in, so it gives me this sign in window first. Otherwise it will directly save. If I'm signed in, it will directly save to the online platform. But since I had logged out, it again asked me to log in first before saving. So I have now put in my credentials here. And then when I sign in, it will put up my name again here, right? Once I'm fully logged in, it takes some time, and it because I had clicked on save as, it is saying, do I want to save this file with this name? So I am saying yes, save it with this name. And then since I had already put up that file over there, it is saying a workbook name this already exists, just like you do it in your normal Windows desktop. So yes, I want to overwrite it, yes, and then it starts pushing the data across to the online platform. And then once done, data would be there online, and your name also comes in here at the bottom. You see this one, your name also comes in here, and it starts publishing here online. This was my yesterday's information, and today it gets refreshed. Sorry, I accidentally closed it, but it gets published over there, right? So I hope that helps, Gautamji. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So I hope everybody is back. Shall we proceed? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Now, this is our Tableau desktop screen, like I was saying. So it will have a live and extract option over here. This is the kind of connection that you have. So live means you are directly connected to your live system, like your laptop or your desktop. Now, if you are linking it to an Excel sheet like this one, this is a snapshot. So it will say live like this. If I click on here extract, if I click here, then it will create an extract. It might even ask you to save that file again. So we will do live and extract sometime later, but extract is like something that has the data along with the file. Live is like the visualization file is separate and the underlying data is separate in an Excel file. This I discussed yesterday, the different data types, and whatever you see over here on the icon above, it is all this. Okay, most important, text, numbers, and the geographical role, the globe. This also I covered yesterday. Okay. Now let's I was just checking if everything is there. Now let's also I discussed all these icons yesterday. Show me option here, and these are different options here. You can also see that over here at the very bottom right, it says show tabs, and then there are some show film strips, and all these options are there. It will become clickable like this once you click over it. Like, so these are different options. The view that you can see, this is one of the views, which is shows sheet sorter. Second one is show film strip like this. So you have the sheets over here, so that you can also have a look at what is there in the sheet, so that when there are multiple sheets, like 10-20 sheets, you can easily relate what they are. So because in a typical dashboard there would be on average like 10 to 15 different sheets, different graphs, they are bundled together. So it's good way to see the sheets. Otherwise, the default option, this is the rightmost one, which we call the show tabs. So these are tabs, just that how the tabs look, nothing more. So you can explore this, and these small buttons are for, like, if there are too many sheets, then you have to scroll left or right for that. Okay, so with that we are all set for our Tableau visualization journey. So let's go to a new sheet. If you don't have an extra sheet, you can click this one, the first option, which if you hover over it, if you put your cursor over it, it says new worksheet. Click on this, it will add a new worksheet. Like now sheet 4 is added. Okay, if you don't want extra sheet, right click and delete. Right click and delete. Always keep your work tidy and don't put too many sheets. Put only what is required. Okay, now so let's try to understand this area first, the marks area, because this is what basically is the one of the strongest the basic backbone of your visualization. So like we did one chart, let's do another chart. This time let's see what is the state-wise sales. Okay, just very simple. So state I want to put in one axis, and what to say, sales on the other axis. Okay, like this. So if I do it like this, I get this bar chart. Now you note few things. Number one, in this marks area, there is this drop down. Always by default it would be selected as automatic, right? So automatic is whatever Tableau feels is the best fit, it will draw the graph based on that. If you change it to, let's say, circles, it becomes something like this. If I change it to text, it becomes like this. Okay, now something might not make sense, some might make sense, and also it depends on what kind of information we have supplied, right? So all these things you see, right? Shapes, different shapes for different categories. Only one category, only one shape. If I drag, let's say, category to shape, different shape, square for something, circle for furniture, square for office supply, plus for technology. The old, if you remember the very old basic charting. So all these options are available. So at times, let me just bring the sales back here. Okay, so by automatic, if I click on automatic, it will give me this text field over here. Now this ABC means that in here you can drag a text field with this automatic selection. So if I drag my, what you say, sales to text, now I have a table which has this text. Instead of this field, I have the sales figure. I bring it back, it gives me ABC. So which means we can, this field needs to be populated. This is what it means, right? I can, instead of automatic, also go here, show me, and select this table, text table, right? Now note that whenever you drag some fields in this area to the right side, like this way I said, if you bring it to the view or to the instance of this current Tableau sheet, so when I brought this state sheet, some things became highlighted, like this are highlighted, rest are grayed out. If I get rid of everything, and now I don't see any of the field which is highlighted, everything is grayed out, nothing, you cannot select anything. Now what happens is, if you select on any one visualization, like this is a text table, so you see it says something over here that it needs, like this one bullet graph needs 0 or more dimensions and 2 measures. So if I go to text table, it says 1 or more dimension, 1 or more dimension, 1 or more measure. So I need to bring in a dimension or a measure for this table to get work, right? This clickable. So let me redo it. I am bringing state to rows. The moment I do that, this becomes highlighted. Rest also become highlighted, but let's talk about this first. So now this text table, since it's highlighted, I can drag other fields, let's say sales, and I can bring sales to details. Let's say for if I'm not very sure where to bring it, I bring it to details here. Now nothing is happening, right? What I can do next is I drag it and put it to text, and now I see that it is creating a table, right? I could have also brought this here like this. It gives me a graph, but what if I want the text table? So I again click here. It automatically brings things where they need to be, and it creates a table. At times it might not do it in the right way also, but you have to then tweak it a bit. But 99% it does it automatically. I can even, so I can check with these two elements brought in, one is being a measure, other being a dimension. With one measure and one dimension of this nature, whatever the data type it is and the backend, I can create this. I can also create this, right, which is a heat map, right, a very basic heat map. So a bigger means a bigger value. I can even get highlight table, which is highlighting high values, which means this has highest sales, right? I can even change the color of this highlight table. So this is a default color that it has taken. If I take something else, let's say I want this one. So now it gives you more sense about the data, right? So light green over here, which means in between sales, yellow means very low, and green means high. So this is the highlight table. I can, because I've also got state 1, which is, if you see here, there is this symbol. What is this symbol, anybody? What does this symbol mean?
So the geographical area maybe.
Yeah.
It's like a map.
Yeah, so it's a geographical role. So it has, this field has a geographical role. So which means it can create a map, and which, that's why these two map visualization also highlighted. So if I click on one of the maps, so I get a map. I can so this kind of map is known as a bubble map, because I'm creating a bubble in the map. I can even create this filled map, as they call it, the filled map. Green means high sales, yellow or orange means low sales, and in between means intermediate sales. This is a filled map, also known as a choropath map. Choropath, I'll just write it here. Choropath, sorry, choropath or a filled map. Now, depending on your requirement, you can create a choropath or a filled map. A choropath or filled map. This is same, choropath or filled, or a bubble map, right? Like this. There are a few other, I mean, people call it with different names also, but more or less you can call it like with this name. Okay. Okay. Now, I can even with the given fields, I can even create this bar chart, this stacked bar chart. Okay, this is a tree map, right? I can even create this circular view. Now, whether it makes sense or not, it will depend on the data and your understanding about it. This is a box and whisker plot, mostly used for stock data, though you can also do some statistical analysis using this. This is a packed bubble, right? Now, it doesn't mean that if everything is given, you have to use everything, right? That is the biggest mistake. So if you are given with a lot of, what do you say, weapons in your armory, it's not that you have to use everything. Use it optimally, right? So whatever is required at the right time, at the right spot, use that only. So if you are to do a statistical analysis, for example, of your sales, right? And let's say sales, so I can use a histogram, this histogram, right, to plot the distribution, to see what is the distribution of this, because it is a statistical thing. But if I want to see what is the sales across state, then you can use a bar graph, like the way we did some time back, right? So state across state, what is the what to say, so which state is performing well. You can just use a bar chart, and you can just, so it gives you, bar chart is like the best, I guess, though you will see very exotic charts also, but I think bar chart is something that gives you very quick view of what the distribution is like in terms of the magnitude. So it clearly tells California is on the top, and if you go down, North Dakota is at the lowest. So I mean, don't go, let's say I can also use this one, and also it shows clearly that California, and these are the big chunks of sales. But if you can be simplistic and if it conveys some meaning, then why not use the simple bar chart, right, instead of anything exotic? But you have to put it in the right shape so that it is easy for you to. Now if I don't sort it like this, and now if I ask you to which is the biggest one, then you have to check all the fields and scroll down and see. It's not very easy, but the moment I sort it, it becomes really helpful for the end user to just quickly tell which is the highest one, right? So this is the kind of intuition your visualization should have. Forget about any exotic charts, right? Be simplistic and convey the meaning precisely and clearly. That is very important, right? If that concept is understood, rest all will fall in place. Okay, coming back to all the graphs here, and then there are a few other options which are not yet highlighted, because, for example, I don't see this scatter plot highlighted, right? Because it's a regression tool. It is used to do the regression analysis. So if I have two numeric values, two measures like profit and quantity, and now if I want to regress it for all the, let's say, orders, there are all the orders here, I bring them to details. Now these are all my orders, right? Now I can do a regression analysis on this, because if I use this, and let's say, yeah, that's fine. This is a quantity and profit, right? Now, if I right click and bring a trend line here, so it tells me that it is slightly growing. Obviously, if your quantity is growing, your profit would also go up, right? Economy of scales also, all those concepts. So it has a slight increase.
Sir, can you please explain the trend line?
Don't worry about trend line. I'm just showing you the chart. Trend line will come definitely in the next, in what you say, in the upcoming sessions when we do slight few statistical things here. But just for killing your curiosity, right click anywhere in this chart. Don't right click on a bubble, okay? Right click anywhere in the chart, trend lines, and show trend lines, and then it will show a trend line. There are a lot of things that you can do with this trend line. I'm not I don't want to jump right now into trend lines, but what I was trying to tell you was, the moment I brought two measures into this view, then my scatter plot became visible. Otherwise, it was not visible in the previous example, right? So the reason being, a scatter plot needs, you see here, when I click on scatter plot here, it's what does it say? 2 to 4 measures. If you see here, right? Just have a look here. It says 2 to 4 measure, 0 or more dimension. You can have more dimension, but minimum two measures are required. And why minimum 2 measures? Because a scatter plot is a regression equation, right? A regression visualization. So you will need one axis and another axis, and both have to be numeric fields. You cannot use a scatter plot on a discrete and a continuous field. Both have to be continuous, and hence both have to be measures, right? So that is the underlying idea. So likewise, other graphs also. So that's how you create your graphs. Okay. Any doubts so far? Okay. So now, yes. Okay. So let's. So this was the one concept, that what all you drag here will have an implication on what all you can visualize. That is point number one. So if you are dragging only a numeric field and only a text field, one text, one numeric field, or one measure in one dimension, you will not get a scatter plot, because scatter plot cannot be designed using just single field. You need two measures. So don't try to create from here and then see what fits in here. Just try to visualize what will be the best fit from here, and then bring in the values here, right? So your approach should be, have the idea of the graph in a mind and then plot it. Though there might be instances where you're exploring your data, then in that case you do hit and trial and then explore it. Otherwise, you should have a visualization of what kind of graph you're looking for and then draw it. Okay. Okay. Now, so what if I, okay, so this was about the show me thing. So the one takeaway from this small exercise we just did was that what you drag in here will have different kind of graph options. Some option would be possible, some would not be possible with the given combination. So you have to bring those options accordingly. Now let's talk about these other things and also some of the aspects over here. So I will bring in what to say, same state to rows here. Okay. You can also bring this state to drop. You can drop here also. Same effect, right? You can even drop this over here also. Same thing. But I hardly use this option to drop here. I prefer dropping it on this shelf or over here. Okay. So again, bringing it here, and now what I want is, I want a map, right? So I will go to this automatic, and I can either click on map here, or I go here and click on this bubble map, right? And now I get a map. Now let's see what all wonderful things we can do with the options available here. So I just showed you in the first half of the class, but I'll repeat it for you. Before that, one concept that I want you to tell is, there is x-axis and a y-axis. This screen is a two-dimensional rendition, right? You have a two-dimensional plane. You don't have a 3D plane over here. Though you can draw a z-axis here in an orthographic projection, as they call it, but if you don't understand it, don't worry. You can show a three-dimensional thing over here using a 3D chart, or a 3 axis, x, y, and z axis. But see, if you want to add more dimensions to your visualization, for instance, I can add a color, I can add a size, right? So now with a two-dimensional plane, I am showing one axis, one value, two value or two attributes, color, third attribute, size, fourth attribute. So with by adding color and size, I'm adding more dimension to my visualization, right? And I don't need extra axes. Within two dimensional, I'm doing all this. So in a 2D plane, I can do a lot of other stuff. This is a great powerful feature or a great thing to have because you have a limit of only a two-dimensional space. So we will use these aspects, color and size and few other things, to show multiple features in a single 2D plane. Okay, I hope you kind of would appreciate the kind of power it gives you to your visualization. Okay, now these are just my states. So what do I want? States are already there in the graph also, right? So if I get rid of everything, it still will, if I have a blank map, it will show me the states also. But I need to bring some value to this information. So let's do the same exercise we did before. Please repeat with me. Drag your states over here, right? So one second. Yeah. So whenever you have a geographical role here, any field, if it's a geographical role, your latitude and longitude would be generated here automatically, which means there is a geographical field here. So these fields automatically get populated in this shelf. The moment I bring in state, I can double click state, it will automatically come to detail, and these will automatically be picked up because your latitude and longitude are nothing but x and y axis projected in a 2D plane. So we'll come to that in maps, but when you bring a geographical role, latitude and longitude come here like this. It's a default phenomenon, don't worry. Now I want to see which state has highest sales. Please repeat with me what I'm doing. So bring sales to size, right? So now I get different size bubbles. I want, because this is not very clear or it's not very prominent, I will further increase the size like this. Okay, and if you want, you can increase more depending on your requirements. This looks good. So this is my, so now I can make out that these are the big pockets of sales, right? And these are intermediate. These are very small areas. Maybe there is some issue, or maybe there is some operational issue. Sorry, there's some operational issue, or there is less population here, hence, or the requirement of such product is less. So you will have to look at the strategy and other KPIs to further drill down. Okay. Now I can bring category to colors, right? And I now have different categories over here. But I can see that there is some overlap here because this orange and there is a yellow background. So because of that, it might have furniture as well as other products. I cannot clearly see what is happening there. So maybe this is not a good idea, but still I am just using this one. Or what you can also do is you can put category to filters, but filters I have not covered yet. So just to show you, I can put a filter on furniture, and now this is my furniture sales. I can use the filter on something else also, edit filter and office supplies, or there's a better way. You can right click and show filter, and I can now click any of it. So I can use office supplies now. So this is office supplies, and now if I bring category to colors, now it would make more sense because now I am clicking based on different categories. So yellow is for technology and blue is for furniture. Sorry, whatever that color is, red is for furniture, right? So this is how it works, but let's not go there. Maybe filters I'll cover separately. Colors are like this. So because my colors are overlapping, so I don't think this is a good idea. So what I'll do is, because a single location like New York is having sales in all three categories, so at times you have to improvise. So what I'll do is I'll say which areas are giving high discounts to get high sales. So I bring discount to colors. Now see this. If I bring, just note this, if I bring category to colors, I get like this. The legend, as they say, the color legend, the color coding is like this. But if I bring discount to colors, I get something like this. Why do you think this is happening like this? Any ideas? Anybody?
Sir, we didn't understand the question.
Okay. The question is, when I'm bringing furniture to color, I get colors like this: red, blue and yellow. 3 different colors for 3 different categories. But if I bring this discount into colors, then I get this gradient kind of thing, not 3 different colors or 4 different colors. Why is it so?
So that's because it's a continuous thing. So it shows from minimal to maximum.
Everybody understands that? So because discount is a continuous field, it is a number, right? It's a measure. So when I drag it, you see it automatically gives sum over here. So it will be a number. So number would be anything, like you can see the range of number is from 0 to 364. The discount is from 0 to 364. So the color is varying from low to high. You cannot give 364 value of colors, right? It's not a discrete field. Though you can do that also in Tableau. If you want, you can convert it to discrete. It will give you for each value number of discount a different color. So if some item has been given 10% discount, there will be different color for it. 20% discount, different color. But you imagine how many colors you will have. It won't make any sense. So for continuous fields or numeric fields, you will have a colored gradient. Okay. Very important concept. So the color will be picked up accordingly. You can have, as you can see here, you can have option of color gradients if you have a continuous field. Otherwise, you will have that template that I showed the other day. I'll show it to you again. So if I'm using a discrete field, you will have the color palette like this. You will have this palette which has different colors. If you see this Tableau 10, these are different colors. Or you can still have a continuous. This is a color gradient. Okay. So depends what field you are dragging on color will give you kind of color palette. Very important concept. I hope everybody understands that. Okay. So that is how you drag continuous and discrete field into colors. And now another important concept. Just now we did something. We brought the discount into color, and we got this field. Now my discount is from 0 to 364. Do you see any issue over there, or is it okay? Anybody? Can discount be 364? What is discount? आप लोग, you go for window shopping and all, right? On Flipkarts or on a mall or on Amazon. Do you see a 364 discount anywhere? Though there could be, but practically it doesn't happen, right? So if you're giving 364% discount, it would mean you're giving something. Along with that, you're giving some money also to your customer, right? So can discount be more than 100%? No, right? Practically no, right? So you cannot aggregate on sum. So some fields, Tableau will automatically aggregate based on sum, because it sees number, it automatically pounces upon it and does a sum, right? It is its tendency. But we know fields like discount, literacy rate, anything which is percentage, some ratios, KPIs like equity earning per share ratio or body mass index, all these things you cannot add. These are ratios. So at max, you can either do a count of it or an average. So you have to go to this field, use a drop down here, go to measure, and then instead of sum, click on average. So it means average discount is, which makes sense, 0.39, which means 39%. Is this point clear? Shall I repeat?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So some fields cannot be added, percentages, ratios and all. So for that you either use count or average, but not both. Okay. So that is another concept, how you're aggregating it. If a field has been brought into a view here and you still want to change it, like example sales, maybe you don't want sum of sales, you want to see what is the average sales. So you can go to average. So now this becomes average sales, and you see how the bubble suddenly change, because the average sales is high here, which means there might be selling less number of quantity over here, right? So again, lot of what you say, inference can be brought in. Right now you see I don't see any. This one has very high average sales, but if I just take sum of sales, then it is nowhere as compared to other, right? So this is because this means this area is making lot of sales per unit, right? So maybe they're selling something which has very high per unit cost. That is one inference, right? That's why its average sales is high, but overall sales is low as compared to other. And mind you, the size of bubble is comparative, because if this bubble is high, then it will become small as compared to the rest. So it is a relative thing. So there are some inferences that you can draw from this visualization. Okay, something like this. Okay, so and how do you change it? Again, I'm repeating: round click, measure, and then click on anything. There are other maximum minimum percentiles. We'll cover them later. So this is how you do it. I'll pick up slightly better color here. I'll pick. So for low sales, I want orange. This has a very good contrast, so I use this generally like this. Okay. You can even go to colors. So let's say over here high sale is green, right? Let's say for example I picked this bar, red green divergence, red green gold. This is another like good, intermediate orange, and red bad, right? And apply. So which means red discount and green high discount. Now this is good from the point of view of customer. So if you're buying, it's a good sign. High discount is good for you. But if you're doing a business, is good discount good for you? What do you think?
No, sir.
Right? So if you're on the other side, for customer it is a good thing, right? But if I am, let's say, if I'm selling something and if I'm giving very high discount, so बोलते हैं ना कि घोड़ा घास से दोस्ती नहीं कर सकता. So same thing. खाएगा क्या फिर? So which means if I am on the other side, I'm the businessman. For me, high discount is bad. Then I want to show high discount with red and low discount with green. So what I'll do is I'll reverse this color. You see this? There's an option to reverse it. You can even use stepped colors if you want to step it, because you want to categorize, bin the information. You're binning the information, different bins for different discount rate. But right now I don't want to use it. Or you can even use full color range, this one, which won't have much effect unless the data has some other properties. But right now, reversed. Okay, and apply. Now, high discount is red, low discount is green, which means these areas, green areas, are making good sales without giving much discount. Red areas are giving very high discount. Now, if a circle is red and the circle size is small, what does it mean? I'll repeat. If the circle is red,
More discounts with less sales.
is it good?
No.
What is the ideal situation?
Low discount
Mm-hmm.
with high sales.
Perfect. So let's go.
Green and bigger circle.
Yes. So let's go there quickly. Sales. We're talking about sales and discounts. And discount, like we said, have to be average. And we're talking about different states, right? In this, are we talking about states? Yes, different states. I'm just doing this again. So this is one way you can do your analysis. So I'm bringing it to details, which splits my data across different states. Okay. Now, this is a scatter plot. I'll use a circle instead of. So you know that when it's automatic, it's basically different shapes. This circle is coming from this shapes. This shape has different. Do you see this one? These are different shapes. But actually, if I use circle, it has a different meaning. Circle is like, it will have some other properties, like you can color it and change the opacity and stuff. So I prefer using circles. And but let's say, let's go back, because I think that was in this case making more appeal. Yeah, like this. Now we were talking about sales and discount. This is discount. Right click and you can add a reference line here. Okay. Right now I am using the default reference line, which is an average. So it will draw a line over here which is the average discount which is going on here. Similarly, right click here, add reference line, again default average, average sales. So I get this average line vertical which is average sales, horizontal vertical line which is average, sorry, horizontal one is average sales, vertical line is average discount. Now, because of these two lines, I've got 4 quadrants in my graph. Can you identify these 4 quadrants?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's do some things. I am okay. Let's not do that. I'll do it later, sometime later. I was trying to color them differently, but anyways. So I have 4 quadrants. One is this, one is this, one is this, one is this. So what do you think is the best quadrant to be in when you are a businessman, when you're running this business, not a customer? Okay.
Number 2.
Number 2 would be this. So let's number them first. This is number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Which quadrant is best?
Number 1.
Number 1. This. Why so?
Less discount, high sales.
Everybody agrees to that? And which is the quadrant you would not want to be in? Being a businessman. 1, 2, 3, 4. Which is the quadrant which is the worst? This is the best. Which is the worst?
Number 3.
So this is high 3. Is this the one you're referring to?
Which one, sir?
This is 3. 1, 2, 3. Is this the one?
Yes, high discount and low sales.
And this is, so you, a perfect scenario would be you don't give any discount, or you give minimum discount and still make sales, right? So so which means low discount go to the left and high sales go up, which means this. So here you are giving least discount and very high sales. So this quadrant is the most likable. Everybody agrees with me, or is there any disagreement? We can discuss.
Yes, sir. Agree.
Okay. So this one is most likable. This one is most unlikable. So this way you can make inferences on your data. Now this is one way. Something like if you have read some or done some business sessions, business management sessions or classes, then you will realize there are different kind of concepts. Like one is Bcg Matrix, right? Or there is something like a Porter's 5-force model. So all this, or there's a Gartner's plot also, right? So Gartner's model also, or what do you say? The other one that I was talking about, I just forgot. Bcg Matrix. Those metrics work on something on this line only, right? So you can identify your low-hanging fruits and your trees without fruits. Okay. So now one way to look at this was through this rendition, or I can also go here and I can say anything which is red in color and low in size. Red in color means very high discount, and small in size means very low sales, which means this quadrant. So which means small red dots are very dangerous, right? So small and red. So look for small and red, and those are your problem areas. Small orange is also like problem area, red definitely. So this is how you infer it. Now you can further enhance this visualization and make some inference out of it. So I think with that note I'll kind of close today's session, otherwise it will be too heavy for you guys. I want you to save all the work we did today. Just go to file, and if you have already saved it, then save it again. Otherwise save to Tableau Public as. You have to be logged in to do that, and I'm already logged in. I just do save to Tableau Public, which will overwrite my existing file and save it on Tableau Public. It does something, you see, and it will save it. So that's all you have to do. So I will put some instructions on your clear matrix profile over here, you can look at that. My video will also be available under here. For the other video that we did yesterday, it would be visible under this session. You might have already seen it, I guess, right? And for today's, I'll put it here just to give you a view of how it would look, because for most of you it is new. I'm just quickly giving you a glimpse of how it looks. So
Sir, can you give us an assignment or something?
just hang in there. So your video is already here, right? So you can click and you'll have a look at it. Okay, now for the week, what you do is you try to play with the superstore data. You have the superstore data. You try to infer this data. I will not say do this, do that. Just have a look at this data and play around with it, because once you understand this data correctly in its entirety, we will see what can be done with this. Okay, so I want you to understand this data with this and try to plot whatever you can. I'll leave it to you, right? Just play around with it. If anybody has any issue, please ping me on the WhatsApp group and I'll help you out over there. Okay, so any issue, any questions, last 5 minutes, otherwise I'll kind of bring curtains down. Okay, so then we are all done for today. We will meet in the next class. Until then, stay safe, enjoy your week, and we meet soon. Bye for now. Take care.